be a little off base there. Hey Sam, here's an actual here's a good quick question from you, because it's pretty cool. People are all over the place, all over Africa, the Middle East, Europe, all the way out to India, Australia, and so on. But Sam, this is always an interesting question. Amir said, Sam, were you a Muslim before? And that's kind of historically maybe a little bit. So why don't you give a little background and answer that question?
Okay, let me answer that. I usually don't share that detail because I don't want Muslims to think I'm using that as a platform to open doors.
Yeah, like the apostate prophet here.
Yeah. And by the way, apostate, I gotta say, you were so humble about you being a nobody. I mean, it was oozing out of your pores. You one gorgeous Turkish beast, and emphasize on Turkey. All right, anyway, but you are from Turkey, right?
Yeah.
You big turkey, you. Anyway, but coming to the issue at hand, and I don't like to share this for one reason, because I don't want Muslims to say that I'm just making it up in order to get people to invite me to talk about Islam. Early on, when I was making my way back to faith, even though my background had been Christianity, I ran into an African-American guy named Hallis. Now, he was a member of the Nation of Islam, and this is around maybe 17 and a half, 18 years old. I was around close to 18. I had no idea what Islam was all about. Now, why is that ironic, guys? My parents are from the Middle East. I was born in Kuwait. You would think if anyone knew about Islam, it would be me. But my parents were very nominal Christians, did not talk about Christianity, let alone about Islam. So I learned about Islam from this guy. But I didn't know that his version of Islam was false, because he was a member of the Nation of Islam. So he was a follower of Louis Farrakhan. And he kept talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, and Master Farad Muhammad. I had no idea these are different individuals. I'm thinking it's the same person, right? So he talked about the Holy Quran. And then he gave me the Holy Quran, started reading it. And by the way, he called it Holy Quran. I don't call it Holy Quran. I'm sorry. So I'm just repeating what he said.
We call it holy, but we have an E in there, Sam.
Yeah, holy moly. Anyway. So start reading it. I was shocked, because the prophets of the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Jesus were mentioned quite frequently. And then that got me on a journey. Now, during this time, the internet hadn't caught on. There was no YouTube. So you'd have to go to stores and get VHS tapes. So I learned about Malcolm X, picked up the autobiography by Alex Haley, read Malcolm X, got VHS tapes on Malcolm X, and then when I heard his journey and how he embraced true Islam, I became convinced in my sick, perverted mind, Islam must be true. Muhammad must be a true prophet, but I didn't run into Sunni Muslims. I'm still learning, I'm still green. But then that got me to go back and read the New Testament. So within 2 years, from around 18 to 20, as I'm reading the New Testament, I'm falling more in love with the Jesus of the New Testament and seeing that he's the Son of God. But I'm still convinced Muhammad is a prophet. So 2 agonizing years. In my mind, I'm thinking Muhammad is a prophet, but hold on, the Quran says Jesus isn't the Son of God, and yet the New Testament, Jesus is the Son of God. So finally, after 2 years, by the grace of God, the Lord broke my shackles. And then I came to the conclusion, Muhammad was sincere in what he said in many ways. And in other ways we can see he was a greedy, self-centered. Yeah, I'll refrain from what I was about to say. But anyway, so then I was convinced, because in my worldview, there's a spirit realm, spirit beings exist, Satan exists. I was convinced that the reason why he was sincere is because he may have been demonized, and some evil spirit masqueraded as an angel of light, like we read in 2 Corinthians 11:14. And that's why he was convinced that he was a prophet. And so finally I was able to see him for what he was. And as time progressed, I know what he is. An antichrist, a son of the devil. So that's my journey.